boy, do we have some things to talk about. Welcome back to the channel, ladies and gentlemen. If you just saw, I just uploaded my Night 1 review for WrestleMania 41. And tonight, we are doing the WrestleMania Night 2 review. So, same with WrestleMania Night 1, I'm going to kind of go over everything that happened on the show. I'm going to tell you what I liked about it, what I didn't like about it. I'm going to go as in-depth as I can, and at the end, I'm going to give my overall thoughts. Let's get right into the review. The show kicked off with the triple threat match between Io Sky, Rhea Ripley, and Bianca Belair. And this had a big fight feel going into it. I don't know if this was just me, but this had a really big fight feel going into it. And these ladies only helped that by delivering what we all expected. They delivered a banger of a match. This triple threat was amazing. I feel like all three ladies really got their shine in here. I feel like they did a really good job of giving all three ladies their moments in this match. I feel like nobody really outshined anybody in this match. It was all amazing. And in the end, of course, I am very grateful for the result as Io Sky wins and retains the Women's World Championship. In my predictions video, I mentioned that maybe Bianca would turn fully heel and then win the championship, and that would be something really cool and like a big moment for WrestleMania. But then we get to WrestleMania, and the crowds are already booing Bianca Belair. She's already working heel. Her turning heel would not be a needle-moving moment, therefore I don't think she needed to win the title here. So I was really happy that Io won, and I think it was the right call for the story they were telling. I think the story they were telling was Io was being overlooked and she needed to shut these ladies up, and that's exactly what she did. Up next, I did not expect this to be second, but we had the Sin City Street fight between Drew McIntyre and Damian Priest. This match was just fun. It wasn't like a really good match by any means. It was just a fun match. I was entertained by it. There was a lot of really interesting spots going into this that I really enjoyed. A lot of cool table spots, a lot of, cool moments. But the match wasn't anything special because honestly, I don't think the feud was anything that special. It was good, but it wasn't really great. I am, of course, incredibly happy with the results. Again, just like the opening match, Drew McIntyre beats Damian Priest pretty decisively, and I think that's actually a really good thing. For how much they've been pushing Damian Priest and for how much they've been burying Drew McIntyre, this was a really nice reversal, and I did like seeing Drew McIntyre get his win and get it decisively. I think that was a really nice touch. I believe up next was the Fatal 4-Way match. I could be mixing some of this up. I am doing it off the top of my head, so forgive me if I'm a little wrong on the order here. But I believe up next was the Fatal 4-Way match for the Intercontinental Championship between Braun Breaker, Dominic Mysterio, Finn Balor, and Penta. This match, like all the others, was a really great match. These four looked really well together, and I honestly think the clash of styles in this match was incredibly effective. These four men had great chemistry with each other, and the match was really, really, really good. We got down to that final third of the match where Finn Balor and Dominic finally turned on each other and started fighting each other, and the match really got into that third gear. Again, if you saw my prediction video, I was hoping for Finn Balor to win the Intercontinental Championship, but it was clear this crowd was firmly behind Dominic Mysterio. And the crowd got what they wanted because Dominic Mysterio frog splashed Finn Balor, of all people, and pinned Finn Balor to win the Intercontinental Championship. Honestly, it's well-deserved, and I'm not mad at it. I just hope it leads to a really good feud between him and Dominic, or Finn and Dominic, over the Intercontinental Championship. Overall, I'm not mad about it. There was a lot of good drama to that match with the Finn Balor and Dominic Mysterio angle. There was great spots like Carlito speared through the table by Braun Breaker. This was just really entertaining. Next, let's talk about the Randy Orton Open Challenge. Randy Orton came out, he cut a promo basically welcoming anyone to the ring. We waited as all the possibilities went through my mind. Is it going to be Rusev? Is it going to be Nick Aldis? Who is it going to be? And then say his name and he appears. The TNA champion, Joe Hendry, shows up. Joe Hendry honestly was not on my bingo card. And honestly, this is something that I'm not too upset about because, again, this was really, really fun. It was a fun surprise. It was something that I wasn't really expecting, which is always a good thing. And the match was short, but it was really fun and really entertaining. And it was a great moment for Joe Hendry. I think the personalities of Randy Orton and Joe Hendry really worked well together, and I think this match didn't need to be long to be really entertaining, and they showed us that. Randy Orton, of course, getting the win over Joe Hendry. I don't know what anyone was expecting. This was really fun. Next up, we have Logan Paul versus AJ Styles. This match, again, was something that I kind of fell to my own sword on. I was so sure that this match was going to be like a 5-star banger, and I put that expectation on the match, and it didn't deliver that, so I found myself a little disappointed. But when I look at it objectively, I don't think it was a bad match. I think, honestly, these two worked well together. I think they put on a really good technical match. The end angle was something I really wasn't expecting. Of course, we had one of Logan Paul's goons try to sneak up with the brass knuckles, and he gets stopped by Karrion Kross. Karrion Kross takes the brass knuckles away, AJ Styles takes the goon out, and Karrion Kross begs AJ Styles to put the knuckles on and smash Logan Paul in the face. And AJ declines. He throws the brass knuckles down and he punches Karrion Kross, getting back in the ring right into a pulverizer for Logan Paul to pick up the win. Again, it was not on my bingo card. It was unexpected. And the angle is interesting. I'm interested to see where they go from here. Unlike night one, it wasn't like a earth-shattering angle, but it was an angle to build intrigue. And that's what I was saying in my night one video, that night one was really lacking, is anything to build future intrigue, or any angles. And when I mean angles, I don't mean the earth-shattering ones. Any angle will do. This was something that I think was an intriguing angle. It wasn't like an earth-shattering angle, but it was a good angle, and I'm interested to see if this goes into a Logan Paul feud, or if this goes into maybe like a trilogy between Logan Paul and AJ Styles, and how it goes with AJ and Karrion going forward. I'm really interested to see where this goes. Next up, we had the Women's Tag Team Championship match. Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez taking on Lyra Valkyria, and now a mystery partner because Bayley was taken out of WrestleMania. I think right when Bayley was taken out, we all knew where this was going, and we were right. Becky Lynch made her return to team with Lyra Valkyria. Look, this was predictable, but it was something I was still really excited for. I was still really happy to see Becky Lynch in WrestleMania and returning to the ring. Now, I know a lot of people are upset about, the disrespect on Bayley, of pulling Bayley from the card, but I do genuinely think this is going to generate good stuff for Bayley. I think this is a good catalyst for maybe a Bayley heel turn, for a subsequent Intercontinental Championship reign and feud with Lyra Valkyria. Maybe a big feud with Becky Lynch. Who knows? Maybe we have a similar story to Jade Cargill where Becky Lynch attacked Bayley. No one really knows what happened here, but I do think it's going to mean good stuff for Bayley going forward. So all you Bayley fans out there, I wouldn't worry about this because I do think that Bayley's going to come on the other side of this with some great stuff. In the end, Becky Lynch and Lyra Valkyria did end up securing the Women's Tag Team Championships. I don't think this is going to be a long reign, but I do really like Lyra Valkyria, so I'm happy to see her get the spotlight. And it was a good moment. And once Becky Lynch returned, you knew she wasn't losing. Now we got the main event. Now look, I know this is going to be hard for a lot of you to believe. I'm wearing my Cena merch right now, but I am coming at this from my own unbiased perspective. First of all, we had John Cena make his entrance into like nothing. It was a bleak entrance. And I get it's part of his character. It's part of, the story they've been telling. Selfishly, I didn't really like it. I just thought, this is John Cena's final WrestleMania entrance. And that's what we got. I was a little underwhelmed by it. But again, I get it. It served the story. Now, here's where we apparently get into unpopular opinion territory. I enjoyed this match. Was it a 5-star banger Matt classic? No, not by any means. And if you're expecting that out of this run for John Cena, you might want to turn on him now because you're going to be greatly disappointed. What Cena is good at is methodical, psychological, in-ring storytelling. That's what Cena's good at, and that's what we got here. It was a slower-paced match, but the ring psychology was there. The story was there. And honestly, it was enough to entertain me. The match really started slow, but it did start to pick up towards the middle and the end, and I did find myself, entertained by it. Maybe I'm just, trying to take in every single moment of John Cena being in the ring that we have left, because I know we don't have a lot left. So maybe I'm just trying to savor everything. But I genuinely don't think this was bad. I've seen some people online saying that this is like the worst main event in WrestleMania history or the worst match in WrestleMania history, which is absolutely crazy to say. I don't know why anyone would say this is the worst WrestleMania match in history. It's just an absurd thing to say. Now, the end of this match was a little confusing. We had Travis Scott come down to the ring by himself to distract Cody Rhodes. Cody got his receipt and nailed him with the crossroads. That much was entertaining. But then Cena just hits him with the belt and wins his 17th world title. To a lot of people, this was really underwhelming. To a lot of people, this was, bad. Let me give you my take on this. I think the reason a lot of people thought this was bad is because people were expecting a big, overbooked ending like we got last year. And this is where I may sound like a contradiction to some people. You don't need a massive angle on a match to be good. Again, I know a lot of people have seen my last two videos and they've been like, well, you were harping on the fact that night one had no angles whatsoever, and that's what made it bad. That's what made it boring. But I don't mean earth-shattering angles. I just mean any sort of story whatsoever. Again, the things I need in wrestling for me personally, for it to be good, is good angles, good wrestling, and good stories. And also good finishes. And I think this match delivered that. Again, would it have been better to maybe see The Rock and all of that? Of course it would. But I don't think we could be mad at WWE for that. If you want to blame somebody for this, blame The Rock. Because here's the simple fact about The Rock that I have been saying for months now. Rock does what Rock wants. Rock was a part of that angle at Elimination Chamber, not because the story called for it, because he wanted to be. Rock was not at WrestleMania because he didn't want to be. If you think that Rock at this point in his career can't dictate his priorities and dictate his own schedule, you're talking a little crazy. This man has known for a year what the date of WrestleMania 41 was going to be, and he decided long ago he was not going to be there. I think WWE just needs to stop giving Rock all this creative power, because Rock just inserts himself in things whenever it's convenient for him. And it does damage the story. I do agree with you on that. Was the fact that The Rock not showed up really upsetting? Yeah, it was upsetting, but it didn't ruin the match entirely for me. I think it did leave a lot to be desired. I agree with people on that much. I think that The Rock really screwed us over here. But overall, I didn't hate the main event. I certainly didn't think it was the worst WrestleMania match in history, like a lot of people are saying. I thought it was good enough. Again, it wasn't match of the year. It wasn't even match of the night. But it was good, and it was fun, and we got the right result. Did Travis Scott need to be there? No. But I guess you needed some callback to Elimination Chamber if The Rock wasn't going to show up, right? Anyway, that is my review of Night 2 of WrestleMania. Let me know what you guys thought of the show. Overall, I thought Night 2 was so much better than Night 1. I really enjoyed everything on Night 2. I don't think there was anything on Night 2 that I didn't enjoy. I think I liked everything on the show. Some things more than others, but I do think I really enjoyed everything on the show. It had good stories. It had good angles. It had good matches. It had such a level up on WrestleMania Night 1 for all those reasons. Not to mention, a lot of meaningful stuff happened on the show. Dominic Mysterio won the championship, and that's what everybody wanted to see. Becky Lynch made her long-awaited return to WWE. That's something that everybody's been wanting to see. John Cena won a 17th world title. That's something that everybody's been wanting to see. And you had the fun stuff like Joe Hendry showing up at WrestleMania, which was a really fun moment. Not to mention Io Sky, Rhea Ripley, and Bianca delivering a banger of a triple threat. Overall, WrestleMania Night 2 was like a solid 7 out of 10. I really, really enjoyed WrestleMania Night 2. Again, overall, as a WrestleMania, this does not compare to the last 2 years of the Triple H era. I think 39 and 40 were leaps and bounds better than this one. WrestleMania Night 1 was kind of trash. WrestleMania Night 2 I thought was actually really good. But be sure to let me know your thoughts in the comments. I'd love to know what you think of everything. And let me know also in the comments what other content you want to see. I have some other content lined up that I'm really excited to share with you. But I also do want to hear from you what you guys want to see. That'll be all, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for joining us. We'll see you next time.